public records Exhibit 4 for RSC 2019-000337 motion notice to reopen due to fraud upon the court. We're going to go through and do our testimony to Exhibit 4, our thoughts and comments and beliefs that we're going to talk about this thing. Now, this was filed on February 6, 2024. Okay, so let's go down to Exhibit 4. This is all on public record. This is Mr. Belfort's case, in which he did a motion to reopen after he was able to look at the books and records of Wilcox Ranch, and he saw the fraud that was going on in there. Okay, so we're at, let's see, Exhibit 4. I'm just going to read it, and Mr. Belfort will make his comments. Okay, Exhibit 4, motion to reopen case due to newfound evidence and frauds brought upon this court. Okay, what this is these are some letters from the attorneys that were managing Wilcox Ranch Property Owners Association. It's about collections here. And what we're showing is the operations and the representations by the attorneys here, what they were doing. Okay, now this is regarding Jarvie 0 Wilcox Ranch Road. And it looks to me like this lady died and she was the last survivor to this property. And so they started leaning her up because the bills weren't being paid. They started sending her letters, certified mail. You can see it here, Washoe County Treasurer. Okay, so we'll talk about this because there's some other details about it. But they're talking about this could be the tax bill. This lady here, Deputy Treasurer. Then here's a statement from, let's see, who's this from? Wilcox Ranch is a statement. Elizabeth, right here, she's passed away, but they got these bills here, and they're over 90 days, $1,604. And now they're putting a lien upon real property. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, the liens here. Okay, you don't pay and they start doing this. This is the parcel number 077-440-02 Jarvie property. Goes through here and they're paying this after 45 days. Attorney will represent Wilcox Ranch and put property up for auction on the county steps. Okay, here's the money right here that it's going to cost them, that they're going to get from this property. Okay, this is done through the attorneys. Okay, right here, the representation. Here's all the billing that they were doing. Okay, 9/11, they're even billing on Belfort after they damaged this property. You can see it here. Making the representations, and State Farm making the representations against Mr. Belfort in this matter. Reviewed. Now I want to talk about this right here. This is attorneys review declaration and 1981 easements, or pair opinion letter. Okay, so this attorney knew to the board regarding obstructions to emergency access roads across lot 47 Paw Ross Springs Road. Here's another final letter to board. See, they're charging all this money, making these representations against Mr. Belfort. And they knew about the Declaration of Reservations in 1981, and they knew back as far as 2005. So they kept running it, taking money from everybody like it was their own little business. Okay, these are all the representations by the Kernan Associates, all these billing, all this money, Jarvie. This Belfort responded emails, Jarvie. Okay, Belfort, review follow-up email. Revised cease and desist letter regarding Paw Ross Springs Road. See, they were doing all this stuff. They had no right to do all this. And they're sending him cease and desist threat letters. Here it is here. Here's all the proof. So they're charging all these fees. The attorneys is all making this money. It's racketeering, in my opinion. Okay, so this is what they charge for all this. So they were operating this thing. Here's another one here. Homeowners Association invoice, October 31st, 2018. Now they'd already voted the perpetuity in, and this attorney law firm went down there and recorded it. And all these people, the adverse parties, want to say it doesn't exist. So you can see it here, this stuff. Let's go down here. This is Jarvie, who now, individual name Clifford, Kenneth Clifford, I believe owns this property. Okay, so this is a quiet title right here, where they quieted title. Gail Kern, right here, quieting title on Chamfrey. Now, Mr. Belfort, he'll talk about it, but he spoke to the new owners of this. Apparently, he acted like he didn't know what it was, but you can see this is a quiet title. I'm not going to go every through detail, but it has to do with that property. Chamfrey and the HOA further agree the subject party remains subject to the HOA's ongoing lien rights and remedies under its governing documents, NRS Chapter 116, applicable Nevada law. Now, this was done after they voted the perpetuity in. Okay, and there it is right there. She did this, and she's refusing to talk to us. Okay, and then this is the district court judge, David A. Hardy, who in court case CV25-00680 basically violated Mr. Belfort's due process through the entire court case after he paid fees for fair adjudication. And he had 28 motions and 28 notice, and they blew it off and gave it all in favor of the district attorney, co-actors. Okay, it's unfounded. Okay, and he had a conflict of interest right here because Mr. Belfort's claiming title fraud, and they're attacking him about it. So all these attorneys are involved in it, and that's a quiet title. And then they go and record this. But that's Exhibit 4, and I want to let Mr. Belfort talk about it. Specifically, let's talk about this guy, Kenneth or Clifford, who got the property, and you were and another person went up there and talked to him. He said he knew nothing about it, but then he came down to the meeting where I was running the meeting as Secretary Treasurer, and he's over there recommending and making a side group with these adverse parties, saying, well, let's shut down Wilcox Ranch Property Owners Association and start another one, and they were going to have a meeting in September. Okay, so they're trying to get rid of this association so they can take these roads over. Anyways, what do you want to say about this, Mr. Belfort?
Well, I was up there actually with Richard Wilson, your father, and we met this guy. He was driving a piece of heavy equipment up the road there, way up top on Wilcox Ranch, and we asked him if he was part of the association. He said he didn't know anything about it. And when we looked at the records, it's all over his title to his property. We had all the paperwork there. We told him about a meeting that was upcoming, and he showed up at the meeting and basically tried to hijack the association and start his own.
Yeah, and they never did it. But they were over there, it's like, why are you going to shut this one down? Here it is right here. I think that they're trying to shut it down, and then they would never, trying to get us to agree to it. And mind you, during these meetings, there's about a handful, 6, 7 of them or more that are adverse to this thing. And it's always that group, and they dominate these meetings because no one else is showing up. Okay, they're concealing the record here and not telling, and they're telling people all this stuff that's simply not true after they voted a perpetuity in. And even one of them, the one person is threatening us, and he's taking checks after he voted the perpetuity in with no accounting for it. and we can prove it. We've already shown it.
I think this was an attempt. See, once they shut the association down, they can then distance themselves from all these financial crimes and other frauds and illegal acts. You know, that's they sort of think, even though we've staked it 4 years ago or more, it's probably starting to turn into 5. We staked all these accusations. They think that because all this time has gone by and the COVID pandemic and all that, that they're not accountable, and that we're never gonna get to the bottom of it.
No,
But we will.
this we have the evidence. There's so much evidence. We haven't gone through it all, but what's in those records, it's all there. There's no getting out of this. Okay, they don't want to talk to us. They want to use their bar membership gang to blow us off and violate rights and all this stuff. They're in dereliction of duty, and it's perjury of oath is what it is. These attorneys. Okay, we're under threat, and our properties are defective. Okay, that was Exhibit 4. Stand by.